Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Now, there are a ton of gaming subscription services out there. Specifically, one that comes to mind is Game Pass Ultimate, but there are a lot of smaller versions of this for the mobile games. Android has one and iOS has one with Apple Arcade, and that's what I'm talking about today. So let's jump into the video. Now, in terms of the catalog and a list of games, Apple Arcade is actually not bad in terms of some of the exclusives they've had on the platform. One game that comes to mind is Oceanhorn 2, and that's a really fun game that wasn't really exclusive to the platform for the first game. That was just a game that I think you paid a one-time price for and you were able to play the game, but now you have to subscribe to Apple Arcade to play the second game, which is a very fun game. It's just, I think Apple wanted to get the higher quality games on their platform, so people would subscribe to the service, which I understand completely. It's like Game Pass trying to get all of the exclusive titles on their platform and also put their first party titles on their platform for people to play. So they'll be like, hey, well, I don't have to pay $60 or $70 for a game. Let me just pay for the subscription. I can play all the games in the catalog. This is pretty much what Apple's doing with Arcade. And I don't know if it has the same effect because I've played Apple Arcade. I've played several games on there and the games are fun, but they don't have the same feel as a console game or a PC game or anything like that. The difference between something like Apple Arcade and Game Pass allows you to play your console games via the cloud. And if I'm being completely honest, I'd rather play the console games via cloud than play, the mobile games, because you don't have the same big hits in Apple Arcade like you do in Game Pass Ultimate. And Google Play Pass is the same thing. Like, they have a lot of great games, but it's still the same problem of you're locking exclusive mobile games behind a subscription. Now, if you had some first party titles from like Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo come to those services and they were actually made for a high quality experience, then I can see people paying for the service. But right now, I feel like Apple Arcade is really meant for just people who don't even really game on a regular basis or don't have a console. The games are fun. They have a lot of different games in their catalog, from racing to action or adventure to fighting, multiplayer online games, but they're just not the same. I'd rather pay for PlayStation Plus or Game Pass Ultimate, which I do have. It's just for someone who doesn't have a console or who wants to always have everything on their phone and doesn't care about the bigger AAA titles or, likes the smaller indie or just mobile games, then this may be for you. But for $5 a month, I don't even know if it's worth it, if I'm being completely honest. Like I said, the games are cool and I played several of them, but yeah, they just don't hit the same way. So maybe in the future they'll have some bigger AAA titles. Like, they do have some big titles like NBA 2K series, the arcade edition, and Oceanhorn 2 and Asphalt and some other games, but they're just not the same. The console versions are always going to be better. Even if you're streaming them from the cloud, they're just going to be better. So yeah, that's just my thought on Apple Arcade. As someone who has PlayStation Plus, Game Pass Ultimate, has played this stuff on console and PC, and played, various games in Apple Arcade, I feel like Apple Arcade is for a very, very specific niche of group of people, in terms of you have to be an iOS user, obviously, or this may be something for people in your family, like kids. If you have an Apple TV, it's easy to get them into gaming this way, but I don't think this is for a majority of people, even in iOS, even in the Apple ecosystem. I just feel like this is not. So yeah, that's my review of Apple Arcade. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you actually use Apple Arcade on any Apple device, if you use Google Google Play Pass, if you use Game Pass Ultimate or PlayStation Plus, and if you have more than one of these services, what do you think about them, compared to the other? Because as someone who mainly plays console games and has an iPhone, I don't know if this is something that would even be viable to me if I didn't have a console. Like, I don't know if I would even go to Apple Arcade if I'm, being truthful. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, be sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll have more of these videos coming out every week, hopefully, if I stay in a regular schedule. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you later.